Okay, it seems like we are good to go. Let me just refresh the overlay, make sure the notifications went on social media. Notification is out. Looks like the overlay is responding appropriately. So, let me just pop that. Do we go over my notes before I actually get into the game? Hopefully things aren't too loud. You let me know, right? And Gandalf, hey! You beat more here. I'm not going to let him forget it. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay. How's Tricks? Hopefully your week is over, at least with the more irksome parts of it. Ah. As far as the irks today, I can actually say this is going to be a fairly, maybe not quick raid, but it will be simple. Because I already had both of the raiders built. It's fun when I get to do that. I don't have to actually make any new raid Pokemon, just... Oh, here's an Annihilate. Well, what kind of Annihilate? It's got Defiant, Tera Ghost, maxed HP, and attack. Anything else? Rage Fist. Bulk up. Perfect. I already had this exact Annihilate built from 2023. Maybe 2022. I can check the dates once we're in-game. The one thing I did have to change, or two technically, I had Screech and Drain Punch on this originally from, I want to say just generic rating. So I swapped those over for Focus Energy, which is a level up move for the Annihilate family, and Low Sleep, which is TM. You don't even have to worry about Mirror Herbing it. I maxed out the PP ups on everything. The only one you need it on, however, is Rage Fist. We'll go over the Annihilate second, though. First, we are doing the Violet build, which, as you can see here, is a Slowbro that I already had built. In fact, let's hop in there so I can tell you when I built this. I want to say this was another 2023 build. Pokemon Violent. Kind of a change to the franchise. More or less than Pokemon Black and Blue. And I don't mean Black as in Gen 5 and Blue as in Gen 1. I mean the PETA ROM hacks. Pokemon Black and Blue. So I built you in, actually, January 2024. So I think, were you part of, not the Quaquaval raid, probably Blaziken then? Same day. Yep, January 11th. And this is going to be the prize at the end of the raid, if you haven't already gotten it yet. Kommo-O, Tera Fighting. No IV investment yet, or no effort value investment yet. It has perfect IVs, naturally. 4 moves it comes with are Close Combat, Dragon Claw, Iron Head, and Boom Burst. Now, this might be me being a boomer about Boom Burst. I remember this attack being on much weaker Pokemon. Like, look at this. 140, 100 accuracy, special, 10 power points. Yes, it's normal, so it's technically a lesser Hyper Beam. But at the same point, didn't we just give Ursaluna something that was effectively this, and it just wasn't allowed to use it every turn, and it had less PP? Hey, more, I see you. I don't want to be driven batty by this. Boom Burst I'm used to being a weaker move, mainly because it's on weaker Pokemon. When did a Pseudo get this? Was it originally on it in Gen 7, and I just didn't use a Kommo-O back then? In fact, while I've got this, let me pull that up as well. From Cerebi.net. Since I've not really put that much time into Kommo-O, I've used one in a raid previously, but I've never really used one as part of, like, a full playthrough team. It has several moves I'm not that well acclimated to. Boom Burst, I'm looking at it right now. What else gets it? Flygon, Noivern. Noivern, I remember getting this. Rillaboom? Is it just because it has boom in the name? It is more of a physical attacker, so I guess it doesn't fit there necessarily. Noivern's a special attacker, but it's relatively weaker. On Toxtricity, that was flavorful. I don't remember if I used that specifically in Sword and Shield, but I did use a Toxtricity, low amp. And it's also on the Dunsparce and Screamtail, so nothing where I feel like Boom Burst could do that much damage. And even on Kommo-O, it is more of a physical attacker than a special attacker, but it's got 100 in special attack anyway. It's not nothing. Toxtricity does actually have a better special attack stat, so you know what? I will own up to that one. But Kommo-O's a pseudo. It has more stats overall. Oh. There you go. Okay. Kommo-O has more stats overall. It's a pseudo. Toxtricity was a punk rocker for a UK game. And here are the moves that I'm not terribly used to just in general because I didn't reuse a Kommo-O that much. Clangorous Soul. The user boosts all its stats by some of its HP. By using some of its HP. I say just... I didn't bother using in there because it doesn't seem like the amount of HP used scales to the raid boss. It just uses a normal, like, set base value of HP, not a percentage. For a raid boss, look, there's no polite way to say this for Kommo-O. As far as raid bosses go in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I thought Baxcalibur was kind of cracked at a times 55 HP multiplier. Since they gave Kommo-O close combat, that has to be my best guess. Since they gave it close combat and it's going to be doubly weak to physical and special attacks, it has a times 60 multiplier on its health. I'm sorry, maybe I misheard you. Read that back to me one more time. Times 60. Times motherfucking 60. Yes, it's a pseudo and it's a raid, but at the same point, we just had Baxcalibur at times 55, and now they're setting new records here. You know what I'm going to say? If they're going to give so many new record-breaking multipliers to the pseudos, my favorite of the pseudo-legendaries better get the best multiplier. That might make it the hardest battle, but Dragapult needs some justice here. Then again, I don't even know if they're going to be in a hurry to do that because they already had one mystery gift giveaway, and they've also made it a version exclusive in Gen 9. I don't know if they would give Dragapult that kind of treatment. I wish they would. But yeah, that does have me flabbergasted. I feel like my brain is overheating, never mind what's happening in Europe right now. My sister's planning on traveling at some point in the near future, and she's going to states where it's easily going to break triple digits on the low end. I didn't know we were made of charcoal briquettes. We don't yearn for the flames. And yet, here we are regardless. So, Clangorous Soul as a raid boss move seems like it's cracked. It's a free Omni Boost. It's not like a maxed Omni Boost like Ultra Necrozma in Ultra Moon and Ultra... I almost said Ultra Violent because I was rereading the chat. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, not Ultra Violent. Although I am feeling the Ultra Violet light trying to burn through my blackout curtains. The other move that kind of rubs me the wrong way... Hey, don't go anywhere. The other move that kind of rubs me the wrong way is Clanging Scales. This one doesn't seem like it's good for the boss, necessarily. It's 110 base power, 100 accuracy, so it's already kind of over the usual expectations. But it does this for the sake of lowering its own defense. I feel like they could have given it many better dragon moves, especially if they want to go the special route. Bring on the ultra violence. Treat myself to some ice cream. I have ice water. I can maybe figure out some ice cream later. We will get ultra violent once we actually get into the fight. So, as far as the move options are concerned, I don't know about giving it Clanging Scales. I think that's more just because it's a unique move on a raid boss. They wanted to make sure that they gave it its signature moves. Which... I guess for the Dragonite and the Tyranitar raids, they didn't have signature moves in that same way. And neither did Salamence. Once you get to Metagross, yeah, sure, Meteor Mash. And then Garchomp, not really an automatic signature move on that one. Excalibur had a signature move with Glaive Rush, and okay, I understand where they're coming from. But they already gave it one signature move. They had to give it both of them, and Boom Burst. Boom Burst feels very out of place on a Pokemon with this much stat power to throw around. But I did catch it on 7-Eleven the first week, so I know this build will work. And yes, naturally, I caught it in a Luxury Ball. It's my favorite type of Pokeball. Perfect individual values all around. If you did want to build this as a special attacker, however, I wouldn't recommend that personally. If you did want to build it as a special attacker, you would want a 0 IV in attack, or at least a low one, not this. But it is generally a physical attacker. It's a naughty nature that boosts your physical attack. I've been meaning to go back and play some of my older Pokemon games. Maybe I will try a Kommo-O at some point. And I hate the fact I have to acknowledge Gen 7 is now an older Pokemon game. Because they came out in, I want to say 2016, 2017? Oh shit, was it 2015? I'm going to guess 2016, and then I'm going to walk away from that topic. So as I said before, we are going to be using Duck Season the Slowbro. Let me get rid of the notes first. We're going to be using Duck Season the Slowbro here, that I originally built for the Blaziken raid. But why'd you use that name if it wasn't the Quaquaval raid? I didn't know we were going to get a Quaquaval raid at that time. And I named this Slowbro because I have one in Scarlet that's named Wabbit Season, or Wabbit Hunter, sorry. I have Wabbit Hunter, which was one of the first raiders I built for the Cinderace. I want to say that was either late December, early January of 20... If it was late December, it would have been 2022. If it was early January, 2023. So I had Wabbit Hunter the Slowbro for a while, and then about a year later, I made Duck Season, so I had a pair of them. I think Wabbit Hunter was a female, Duck Season's a male, so I could just cross-pollinate as necessary. We'll bring back the Sacred Notes, though. You know what? As you can see here, I was not able to breed a perfect one. I had to hyper-train the special defense, but you don't need a physical attack stat in this. Hell, you don't even really need a special attack stat. That's... we'll get to it. Naturally holding a Shell Bell because healing in raids is a must. My stat allotment is primarily in HP and raw defense. There is an argument to be made, again, for putting in special attack. However, we are doing a stored power build. So, our attack is more heavily reliant on not what we buff, but how many buffs. So, what we're going to be doing is boosting our defense by 6 stages, which means using Iron Defense 3 times. 6 stages on Nasty Plot, that's another 3 uses. And then when we have effectively plus 12 total stats, we use Stored Power, and that will give us our intended special attacking move here. We are going to be opening with Skill Swap, however, so we can steal Soundproof off of the Kommo-O. Kommo-O, I want to say the big distinctions between soundproof and non-soundproofed strats didn't really emerge until Gen 5, maybe Gen 6, if you want to be finicky. But when you have a Pokemon like Kommo-O that has a themed Orin set, we are going to be able to ignore several moves, quite conveniently. We're not going to be able to ignore everything, but the big one, Boom Burst, that has me worried, it's off the table. It's a sound-based move. And before you ask, how can you tell if a move is sound-based? Does it tell you in the description? Is it like a type, a subtype? You just have to learn through trial and error, unfortunately. Or you could memorize a bunch of useless shit like I do. So we are going to take Soundproof from the sound-based Pokemon, and we are going to use it against it. This is what Skill Swap was meant for. It's rarely so efficient in it, but this is what it's made for. So I will bring back the notes now. Boop. There we are. So for this Slowbro that we've had built for a year and a half, we are going to equip it with a Shell Bell. We are using, theoretically, Oblivious, but frankly, the ability in this fight does not matter on the Slowbro. I have Regenerator on here as the hidden ability. It's just generally more useful for breeding purposes. It's not going to play a big factor in the fight. If I could have something, I would want the ability to negate flinches. Like, I'd want an ability that gives you a Covert Cloak, basically. Because that's one of the few things that we can't play around. If this Kommo-O starts spamming Iron Head, if it gets flinches, we don't have a way to play around that. We just have to tank it. Tera Psychic, that's something that you can naturally get, catching a Slowpoke or breeding it. Stat investment, as you can see here, 252 HP, 252 defense. Whatever you would put in special attack, honestly, you could probably throw in speed or special defense. It's a stored power build. You're not using your offensive stats. There we go. Modest nature, again, having that inclination towards special attack is good, but for your investments, it's more sound to put it into your defenses, to your health pool. And for the move pool, we've already gone over this. Skill swap for the turn 1, get rid of our ability. It doesn't matter, because we're about to swap it out anyway. Even if we were going to lose our soundproof once we get our skills reset, there's nothing Slowbro has that we necessarily want. So, ability can be Oblivious, you name it. We're going to use Skill Swap on turn 1, we're going to use Nasty Paw and Iron Defense to set up, and we're going to use Stored Power to utilize our buffs to the fullest. It's going to be not just super effective, it's going to be Stab, and we're Tera Psychic, so it's going to be Super Stab. Once we can actually get fully powered up, we are just going to melt this Kommo-O shields. In fact, there's a point in my notes where you'll see here, spam until win. My last trial run of this, it only took turn 17 and 18. Spam was just click A twice and leave. So the overall strat is we are going to skill swap turn 1, we are going to set up Iron Defense and Nasty Blot. And then we start using Stored Power for chip damage. Now, turns 5 through 8 here, I made a mistake in my last test run where I was trying to set up additional layers of Nasty Plot. You only need 2 here. So you're going to do Nasty Plot Stored Power, and you're going to do another Nasty Plot, 2 more Stored Powers, if that. So you should be able to terrestrialize whenever you want. If you don't, in my last test run, as I said before, I missed the timing on this. I used a minimum power Stored Power, like no buffs. Basically, it just did a blink a pixel. And then I went back to buffing afterwards. Buffing after you use Stored Power is pointless. That first Stored Power was just for decoration then anyway, because I wasn't terrestrializing immediately after I used it. So yeah. Turn 1 skill swap, the shield goes up immediately. I want to say that's at like 93% of the timer, even if we get an Intimidator on us. So then we Iron Defense once, we Nasty Plot once, we Stored Power for the first bit of chip, and then we start alternating, so probably 1 Nasty Plot additionally, and then 2 more Stored Power, so that we can maintain some health with our Shell Bell. Afterwards, maybe 1 more Nasty Plot, or we can just wait out the, it's going to drop our allied stats after a point. I want to say that's about turn 7, maybe turn 8. It's going to drop our stats. So we're going to have to reset anyway, but it's not as bad as Baxcalibur. Maybe I should give it credit for this. Baxcalibur, I had to set up 4 times. At least with Kommo-O, I only have to set up twice. And I don't even have to set up fully twice. It's not dealing that much damage once you take its ability to use sound-based moves out. I wish there was a good soundproof option that you could just bring into the fight without having to skill swap steal soundproof. But I've not seen one. Maybe there's a legendary or mythical option. I've seen people talking about running, let's see, Magearna and Manaphy. I don't have a Magearna. I need to go back to Gen 7. I don't have this one. I don't know a way to get it aside from either Gen 7 or if you finish the national decks in Pokemon Home up to Gen 8 or maybe Gen 9. Maybe they changed it. This is one of the few Pokemon I have not caught yet. I have Manaphy's, but I don't know if I want to customize any of them specifically for this raid. There are also options for Espeon and Espathra, but I don't like Espathra, and I don't have any Espeons that are that close to being raid ready. So I have the Annihilape, I have the Slowbro. I figured I just had to customize very slightly. But I think the strat is pretty direct. Now, you'll see up here, I did use Panthro and Osirius's videos to just copy over the formatting for this, but these are not their unique strats. I've seen these elsewhere. If anything, I would say Panthro is slightly superior to Osirius in his strat, although Panthro was able to brute force through it with only 2 dedicated moves. The only thing he needed was Rage Fist, Bulk Up, and I think he Focus Energied once. He didn't need Low Sweep, so he had a simpler build that was able to just... It didn't rely on crit strats. Or, no, it didn't rely on lowering the enemy's speed. It did use crit strats, is what I'm saying. Osirius, on the other hand, Osirius is closer to what we're going to be using today, but again, it's nothing unique to them. It's just these are the 2-bit... I stole the descriptions from their YouTube videos, so I didn't have to write this out manually. Are you happy? Honesty is the best policy. I guess if I was ever a Pokemon, Thief would be my level 1 move. Oh shit, would I be a Dark type? Look at me. My VTuber is clearly Evil type coded. I would definitely be a Dark type. Okay, so I'm going to pull down those notes, and we are going to go look for a Raid Crystal. Oh. We are looking for a Fighting type Black Crystal. Nah, I'm loser coded? Well, looser lips sink ships, and unfortunately we need to set sail, and I just rounded the map without seeing it. Oh, it was right down here to start with. Okay. Anchors away. What are you bonking me for? That wasn't even remotely lewd. Just snide and punny. Well, we're passing a... I can't believe Goomy evolves into a Pseudo, and it has 2 possible end forms. What are they going to do with the Goodra raids? Are they going to give us a Gen 6 Goodra, or are they going to give us the Hisuian version? I have to know. I've used a Hisuian Goodra. I've never used the base form. Not for more than just, like, experimenting. Just because bonking is your favorite activity. Well, good luck hitting me on the head. You can't do any more brain damage. Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot I was playing in Violet, even though I'm literally riding a Miraidon. I just caught that Mischievous out of the corner of my eye and was trying to figure out what the fuck happened. I'm used to Scarlet by default. Dumbass. Patience, I'll find out. Find out what? You think I'm going to remember that in time for additional brain damage? Please. As you saw before, I've already captured the raid boss, so now we are just in grinding territory. This boss is actually at a point where I would consider it farmable. Whether you want to go for the Slowbro strat or for the Annihilape. I think it's cleaner if you farm with an Intimidator for an NPC ally if you want to restrict yourself like that. You can manipulate the RNG to have your NPCs after you've acquired them. We are going to be soft resetting, possibly for a bit, until we get an Intimidator. Hopefully we get one early. The best option for us probably would be... Hopefully we don't get to see the home screen that much. We'll see. Ooh, we got the Star Raptor. Okay, that should be a good start. Staraptor and Gardevoir. The Garganacle's kind of dead weight, but we have the essential parts. You see how little health it actually used on Clangorous Soul there as a raid boss? I'm not even sure if that moved 1 pixel. This is the one turn we're going to be hit by Boomburst, by the way. It can happen once later on after we get our ability temporarily disabled, but now you get the useless ability for the raid. Iron Defense. That crit makes me think we should Heal Cheer early. Now, ordinarily I would put the Heal Cheer between turns 5 and 8 when we are setting up with these stored powers to Terrastalize. I don't know if I want to take that chance, though. Our Gardevoir went down. That's our healer with the Life Dew support, so... I'm just going to throw out a Heal Cheer now. Hopefully that Life Dew puts us closer to full. Okay, that was about a 150. We're taking this Dragon Claw, but the Life Dew is going to come and probably give us about 100. 99. Perfect. Okay. So now we Nasty Plot. We should be able to now alternate between Stored Power, Nasty Plot, Stored Power again. Iron Head can flinch us, unfortunately. Damn it. But it does so little damage, thankfully. That's only with 1 Iron Defense, by the way. I'm just clicking through quickly to do the Stored Power then, because we're about to get our stats reset. There's no point in setting up a second Nasty Power. We lost a turn on the flinch. This will put us back to probably about 380, maybe full. The fact it's using Close Combat is probably why they had to give it that 60 health multiplier. It's got Clanging Scale and Close Combat. It's going to be dropping its defense tremendously. Final Stored Power? We have time? We got flinched twice already? Jesus. Funny words, Massic Man. Because I know you didn't spell magic. Sometimes my dyslexia is not as strong as yours. That should push us to the stat reset. It'll be in about 10 seconds, give or take. There we go. This is another turn where we could theoretically be hit by the Boomburst. But it's going for Iron Head instead, so that does nothing. We should be defensively safe now. Our ability's been restored after 1 turn elapsed. So now we're going to set up 3 Iron Defenses, followed by 3 Nasty Plots, and then we're going to spam Stored Power until we win. Which, frankly, is probably only going to be 3 uses. Those flinches did throw off my internal timing, I will admit. But the more that Staraptor goes down, the lower that Kommo-O's attack gets. And that is always helpful. Unless it spams Boomburst, which now it does nothing. The mixed attacker Kommo-O, I don't know if I agree with. But they wanted to go naughty, not adamant, so who am I to judge? The worst case scenario in this raid probably has to be if you're in the first third of the fight, and it gets 2 crits in a row on you. Imagine taking 2 crit close combats early on. Imagine taking 2 crit close combats early on before you can get set up. You might not even necessarily have a Guard of War to help heal you. You might not have an Arbalva. Now, I want to show you the power of stored power. What we've been stockpiling. This is what +6 special attack and +6 raw defense does to a Slowbro. Against a fighting type boss, admittedly. But Psychic is not exactly meant to be a slouch. Here we're going to tank a close combat. Probably does like 20-30 damage. Not even 20. It did 7. You'll love to see it. That was over half of its health bar, including the entire shield. Clanging Scales is going to drop its physical defense. That doesn't help us because we're using a special attacker. So this means our attack is going to go down slightly because it reboosted its special defense to 0. Reset it. If only we had a physical attack right now. Oh well, I'll just have to click stored power and get you down to like 5%, if not dead. That was with a neutral special defense? Jesus. We did a number on that raid. Well, goodbye Kommo-O. I guess maybe I'll try to use you next time I play Gen 7. Not a perfect raid, but it did everything I needed to do. We took 2 flinches early on. We could have been more efficient. We could have had a better partner than the Garganackle. But between the Star Raptor and the Guard of War, it was a cinch. So, all hail duck season. I guess he's just kinda cracked. A year and a half later, still putting in work. So sad, for real. You wanted me to lose. Well, don't worry. The Scarlet version is not exactly guaranteed either. I'm just looking at the horizon now. 1,000 curses upon me. I should lose. There we go. I can't wait to try this out on the Switch 2 version, especially on stream. This is the best looking GameCube game I've ever played. Eventually, I'll stop making fun of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's visuals. Actually, I probably won't. I've been making fun of Pokemon's visuals ever since Gen 6. I don't like the transition to 3D. I think Pokemon was better when it was 2D sprite-based. The pixel art. As opposed to the 3DS and the Switch, where they were forced into pixel art by their own goddamn resolution. The rough edges. I still have fun with the games, but no other JRPG could get away with these kind of quality controls or absolute lack thereof. Only Pokemon. So now we're going to swap cartridges. There we go. Home screen time, just for swapping, and maybe I have to reset if we don't get an Intimidator early on. We'll see. So now I get rid of these, actually. Fewer tabs, less chrome interference. There we go. Let's bring the notes back up right now, actually. There we are. Now, the Annihilate build, if you want to Unga Bunga this, theoretically, all you need is Bulk Up and Rage Fist. The notes! The sacred texts have returned. Yep. Like, these are the only two moves you need for the raid. Low Sweep gives you some priority. In the initial phase of the fight, it'll let you... Speechant. It lets you outspeed the Kommo-O after it has set up the Clangorous Soul, and given itself a +1 speed. You take away the +1, you're back to outspeeding. Focus Energy is not a guarantee. It improves your crit chance, but it's never a guarantee. The only two moves you need on your Annihilate here are going to be Rage Fist and Bulk Up. And for Rage Fist, you can theoretically do this with only 10 PP, but I wouldn't gamble that. You're probably going to be using an average closer to 13. So you PP max it. Adamant Nature, you're only using physical attacks. For your EV investment, put it all into HP and raw attack. You could put the last 4 in defense. I think on this one, however, that I have built, I put it into speed. Not because you particularly need 6 points of EV in Annihilate speed, just because I didn't want to commit to physical or special defense on it, so it's a better all-rounder that way. Tera Ghost is important, however. If you want to dodge normal moves like, I don't know, Boom Burst, that's kind of a running problem for today if you're not ready for it. You want Tera Ghost. You're natively a Ghost fighting type as is, but you want to make sure you keep that Ghost typing after you Terastalize. The ability is not terribly relevant here either. Defiant is a safe option because if you're up against a lot of other raid bosses, they will try to lower one or more of your stats. Defiant lets you use that as your own sort of built-in attack boost. So yeah, the ability is not terribly relevant here. You will need Shell Bell, however. Stop stealing your lines? Haha, PP. Oh. Well, if you want to see how the sausage is made, we got to start squeezing, so let's hop in here. Oh, now I know why it is you don't want me to claim victory. You don't want me to feel like a wiener. Oh good, the Blissies are active again. I forgot. It's the second week of the raid. Of course the Blissies are active again. Let me put those notes away before I forget. Let's see, where can we find a raid? Oh, you hate me, but where else are you gonna get this? Don't say Osiris or Panfro Games, or Danny Solo Raids, or Professor Pilk, or Blaine's, or even sometimes Rage Gaming videos. Although they don't really do Pokemon that much anymore. You think you'd find that shit everywhere. Not everybody can stay obsessed with a given Pokemon game for years on end. And by that I mean they probably realized it's not necessarily in their algorithm's best interest. Me, however, algorithm be damned, I do what I want. Let me just see here. Low sweep, 2 bulk ups, focus energy, the rest should be intuitive. Okay. Again, we have the potential risk of Ironhead rearing its ugly head, interfering with our attacks. I haven't met your best friend. Is that a threat? Do you know what happens with 2 Pokemaniacs in one room? The tism never ends. Or are you saying, like, generic algorithm defiance? Because we have a defiant Annihilate. So we're going to need an Intimidator here as well. At least one. I don't know if we're going to need a healer, necessarily. It would probably help, but I'm only going to reset for 1 Intimidator. And that's if we don't get one right out of the gate. Haxorus, Espeon, Toxapex? No, Mudsdale. Well, it's time for the home screen simulator. Exactly, you're so glad he dislikes watching streams. I might have to do one, like, YouTube exclusive VOD just to bait him out then. How to do it, though. Pokemon leaks are... If I can steal the exact joke, I can't remember who said it. Pokemon leaks are like crack for autists. But what do I have to leak? What could I bait him with so masterfully? I'll have to start concocting a scheme. Ah. I already took my damn pills. It just keeps hurting. Son of a bitch. Bad dog. They're my bones to break. And if I'm a dog anyway, I might as well have fun bitching. That's a Driftblim on the right? Yeah. Nuh-uh. What do you mean, nuh-uh? Of course they're my bones. Who else would own them? I'm not donating them until I'm dead. That might be sooner than I'm planning, but it's not today. You own my bones? If you're going to be so insistent, I'll give you one, but you're not going to like where I put it. You need some for your collection. Well, my skull's already empty. That has to devalue it. What else do you want? A humorous? Because you're not funny on your own. Nothing. You can use this Annihilate build without getting an Intimidator, if you're willing to sack a Feint. But that also means your timing is going to be a lot tighter. I don't want that. I would rather soft reset than risk gambling with my goddamn time running out of a dungeon. Another one. Oh, you're welcome. Also, did you notice how the text is behaving properly in the chat box now when it pops up on screen compared to yesterday with just chatting? It has to be something with just chatting that it has different priorities for whether or not the text disappears in a timely fashion. Which is mildly inconvenient, but at least we have a solution now. We never go back to just chatting ever again. Or if we do, I have to recognize that I'm going to be covered in text. Considering the pile of note files I have, maybe I should just embrace it. Maybe I could put my chat on my forehead. There's more than enough room. Two Intimidators. And that Driftblim could get a burn off to make it even better. I'm still low sweep on the opening. I could do it without it with two Intimidators here, but I don't want to... yeah, there we go. It feels like it's not paying any HP for that free Clangorous Soul, which is already free because it gets to take that before it even takes a turn. But I digress. Now one of our allies has put the Guard Cheer in. So we are slightly safer. We are going to outspeed it at this stage. Okay, Fancy. Honestly, you think it would do me some good to get covered by the text? It would only make me appear more literate. With a guard cheer and one bulk up, that's all it can do. So I'm going to do 2 bulk ups, and then I'm going to focus energy once. We can start rage fisting after that. The attack ups are nice, but Rage Fist is going to continuously give us attack boosts, or specifically boosts to Rage Fist as its own outgoing damage whenever we take damage. And now that we focused energy, we're going to have an increased crit rate. Not guaranteed, but it's going to be more than enough. Also, one thing I forget regularly, I just looked at my notes. I forget that low sweep counts towards the terastallizing counter, because I'm using it primarily just for the speed drop, not actually damage. It's not like it did a lot of damage anyway. But right now, neither are we. Not with Rage Fist yet. Slowbro had the benefit of its Tera being super effective, and its stacking said super effectiveness through Tera. Annihilate, on the other hand, it's just doing neutral damage, relatively. We are going to do 2 Rage Fists while terastallized, and then we are going to wait for it to reset our ally stats, so that we don't risk anything out of the predicted game plan. Ideally, we will be able to get back to full health or close to it with this, but the big thing is, while we're resetting our stats with more bulk ups, it is going to give us more boost to Rage Fist, because we're going to take those damages right back into... Oh, yeah. Also, we could theoretically do this with just 1 bulk up here, but I want to take more damage to boost Rage Fist quicker and harder. We are at a stage right now where we're not taking that much damage relative to our overall health. We have the HP investment. So I'm going to do 1 more bulk up, and then we start attacking again with Rage Fist. Or we do it right now. That was a lot. Random crits kind of dictate my strats. I don't want to rely on them, but if the boss gets a random crit, that was half my health. I'm not chancing it. After this, I will set up 1 more bulk up, and then we can just press Rage Fist until the fight ends. Three layers of attack and defense increases should give us enough resilience and offense. And it kept attacking into us all that time. We got just enough to chip through its shield. It's going to stagger. It will get some automated moves off because of the scripted part of the fight. But from this point on, I think we're in the clear. It would have to get a double turn with 2 crits in a row in order to take us from this stage. We will slow down after a point because it's going to reset its own debuffs back to neutral. But generally speaking... Love that big crit. We only need 1 more Rage Fist. So now your special defense is back to neutral. Too bad you don't get to take a turn. And down she goes. Figures a sound-based Pokemon like you would be a screamer, but just didn't quite scale up. Hydrate. Alrighty. I just noticed the message. Gambling is fun. Well, that was a certain victory. No risk whatsoever. Well, that's both builds, and they both worked on their first serious attempt. I did have to reset a couple times from Scarlet, but if you want to farm any Mightiest Mark Pokemon for the Herba Mystica boosted odds, this Kommo-O seems like a safe bet. Soft resetting for Intimidators gives you pretty much a guarantee if you're running one of these two builds. The Slowbro, you would probably benefit from having a support like either Gardevoir or Arboliva. But the Annihilate, really, one Intimidator is plenty. And you can make Annihilate with just the base game. You don't need a DLC, you don't need to import from anything else, you don't need a trade, just, it's there. It's a time commitment, but still. Tera Ghost, Annihilate, Rage Fist, Bulk Up. I did have this pre-built before, but as I said, I had to change two of the attacks. I originally had Screech instead of Focus Energy and Drain Punch instead of Low Sweep. I'll probably change those back, actually. I don't know if I'll do those right now, though. It depends on what other raids go active. Since I already learned those moves, I can get them back at any time. I don't think the power points are going to come back, though. No, it's not going to give me back the power points, so I'm going to wait until we see what else is coming in terms of raids, because I don't want to waste the PP ups. I've only got 978 of them left. I don't want to waste the PP power points. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that same joke for probably 25 years in Pokemon, and it has not gotten old yet. I've done a lot of grinding in Scarlet, and I have just slightly less in Violet, so... Like, if you showed this to somebody back in Gen 1 Pokemon, they thought you were fresh off of the Missing No glitch. Having this many, just anything stockpiled is nonsensical. But in any Pokemon game past, I want to say Gen 5, maybe Gen 6, hoarding is just simple. Okay, sure, but it's funnier when you say it. I don't know where I'd put it necessarily in the franchise history, but ever since they started changing bag layouts, especially in Gen 3, but in Gen 2 they started doing dedicated pockets. In Gen 3, it seemed like they just gave you overall more capacity with more items as well. And Gen 4, again, more pockets, more overall options, more stuff. I feel like it's Gen 5, but maybe Gen 6, where they just went full bore. You know what? You don't need to deposit items anymore. You don't have to worry about ever running out of anything on your damn person. Actually, the more I'm thinking on it, aside from mail, what do you have to deposit item-wise starting with Gen 3? I can't remember anything that you need to deposit. Like, aside from mail, and that was because of the archaic communication features of the time. More. I don't have a good Adam Driver, unfortunately. It's interesting to think about some of the developments or de-evolutions that have happened with the franchise over the years. Like, item management is no longer a problem. The only part of item management you have to worry about now is crafting materials because they made TMs a finite resource again. Gens 5 through 7, partly 8. But Gens 5 through 7, TMs were infinite usage. You just had to find them once, you could use them as many times as you wanted, whenever, wherever. Gen 8, they introduced technical records, TRs, so it wasn't just a matter of TMs now, because if you wanted all moves, you had to use TMs and TRs. But they didn't want to fully commit to making TRs the standard again. Now TMs are one-time use again. They regress the technology in the setting, as well as just the overall gameplay perspective. We had 3 and I guess a half generations where TMs were infinite. It was fun while it lasted. Now we have to hoard crafting mats. I can think? I know. It's a marvel. It's a wonder. It's once in a blue moon, though. Don't get used to it. Like, all these items in this pocket are just for selling, and I already have damn near 6 million Poké Dollars. I don't have to sell anything. Like, this category is basically just for decoration. And there's cooking ingredients if you want to... The picnic stuff. The only thing I see people using picnics for anymore is shiny hunting. Nobody uses them for, like, bonus rewards off of Tera raids, as long as you find a good strat to farm the raid. Would it technically be more beneficial? Yes. Do people do it? Not that I'm aware of. Not anymore. They used to in, like, the first year, maybe 2 years of the game. Now it's just kind of ignore the picnics unless you're a shiny hunter. And if you're a shiny hunter now, you're not even playing on Switch 1 anymore. You're migrating to Switch 2 because of the increased, how would you call it, character density on screen at a time. You can have more NPCs, more Pokemon on screen, depending on which version of the game you're playing. Switch 1 versus Switch 2. I want to fall in love with a Pokemon game again. I hope Legends ZA brings that later this year. Because Legends Arceus was damn close. Legends Arceus gave me some of the feelings that I thought I couldn't have for Pokemon anymore. I haven't loved a Pokemon game since Gen 5. I've liked plenty of Pokemon games. I would say I even go so far as liking most of them. Whether that's a good critical assessment or not. Fancy still gonna hate on the Switch 2, though. I don't blame you. I have one. I don't know if I would have bought it for myself, but my mother gifted one to me, so I'm gonna get all the mileage out of it I can. Once I get things set up with a new microSD express card, we're going to look into multiple playthroughs of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Oh, poor me. How sad. I wouldn't be looking to do multiple playthroughs of a game I'm not enjoying. So, even though I have my problems with Scarlet and Violet, I will still say they are net positives. As far as comparisons to other Pokemon games go, never mind other JRPGs, I think they are lacking. But they still hit the critical notes. My mom is way too nice. I can't explain it. It's like she enjoys me staying alive or something. She wasted her money. My mom's the best. I don't have anything else to say with that. I just want to point out, by the way, like, at least 20 of these Master Balls, probably all but 2 of them, actually. I'm actually going to say 24 of the 26 Master Balls I'm holding onto, these came from random Wonder Trades of Pokemon that were named after websites trying to sell services. It's like, I have not been farming Master Balls. I have not been doing, like, the printer at Blueberry Academy or the like. This just comes to me randomly from RNG trades. It's like, hey, go pay for Pokemon at our website. Bitch, I know how to gen Pokemon in Hex. I'm not gonna pay for it. Dang. There are people who are... I guess if they make any Pokemon games that are exclusive to the Switch 2, it hasn't been cracked yet. You don't know about the ability to actually back up saves and mod in Pokemon yet. But I can gen in anything from Gen 9 to Gen 1. I don't like to, but it's something I can do. I have the knowledge. I have PK Hex downloaded right now. I use it mostly to back up saves. Like legalizing or legal checking Pokemon. I still have one Pokemon. I think it's in my old copy of Platinum. I know it's illegal, but I like it anyway. It's a Lugia with Signal Beam. It's not even useful. Why is Lugia gonna need a 60 base power bug type move? I don't know. But the animation looks nice. It's like, would I like an Aeroblast that doesn't have partial accuracy loss? Yes. Would you like one with a slightly less impressive animation? I'll take it. Do you just hate Grass-type Pokemon? And maybe Psychics? Yes, the Psychic Mirror Match. Perfect. Nobody will ever suspect the illegal Signal Beam. On a Pokemon that already gets Ancient Power, so it already has an Omni Boost option. And yeah, a bunch of healing stuff that I never use. I think in Violet, I sold most of my healing items early on so I could fast track my fashion options with all the clothing cosmetic stuff. Like, healing is just another treasure item because I don't like using them over the course of the game. It's just a sellable like the others. But I haven't sold anything in over a year of playing, probably... I don't think I've actually sold anything since, like, the first 3 or 4 Tera raids for the game came out, like Mightiest Mark stuff, because I just always have enough Poké Dollars as is. What am I farming for? Like, obviously, if you want Herba Mystica to do, like, shiny hunting and stuff, yeah, you can justify farming the raid, but I don't need to do it anymore. I'm not shiny hunting unless there's a special mass event outbreak. I don't terribly care about shiny Pokemon. I like having a shiny version of my core team, but in general, like, you know, we're talking about it. Let's see here. Pokemon Shield, and it should be the save I have on this system. We're not going to be here for long. I have a save set up in Pokemon Shield because I wanted to play through it again with my favorite team. And hopefully it's the save on this system and not the one on my Switch Lite. Maybe I go back to Sword and Shield. I don't know if that would be good on stream, though. Because these games are still butt ugly, even on their local hardware. It did not get an upgrade with the Switch 2. It's not going to look better. It is the right save, though. Check this out. a shiny Charmander, a shiny Lotad, a shiny Riolu, a shiny Inkay, a shiny Grubbin, and of course, the pseudo, shiny Dreepy. I've got shiny Dreepies on accident. I've bred so damn many of them. Hidden ability. Some egg moves. I was setting this team up almost 2 years ago now. Jeez. I need to go back to this save and actually play it. Own Tembo, I think that's Rain Dish or Swift Swim. Yeah, that's the hidden ability. Giga Drain, Scald, Ice Beam Synthesis. Ah, back in the day when damn near every water type had access to Scald, we didn't know how good good we had it, right? Yeah. I will use Scald because it's available. I don't use Scald because I like it. Wait. July, April. How far apart did it take me? Because I did this team myself. I don't know how far apart I had to get everything. Riolu, Inner Focus. It is not the hidden ability. Hidden ability is Prankster. I don't think I've ever used a Prankster Lucario. But yeah, the default abilities are either Inner Focus or Steadfast, depending on your odds. The good old times. Some decent options for moves. It's pretty serious. And yeah, this one was August of 2023. One of these is April. I don't know how long it took me to get this team. I feel like I might have been working on it possibly too long. This was before I started streaming, too. I think if I was using the Asuka model, that was in 2023, maybe early 2024. I'd have to look back at my old VODs. I only have physical backups for... I only have backups on physical hard drives, let me clarify, for videos that I started after I began... After I began using my own avatar. Inkay. Infiltrator. This might not actually be... Because Inkay, I know, when it evolves into Malamar, I don't really use its hidden ability that much. Let me just... I think it's natively a Gen 6 Pokemon, not Gen 7. Yeah, here it is, 687. There we are. No, Infiltrator is the hidden ability. I have it mixed up with Dragapult, then. Talking ain't my skill today. Was it ever? Infiltrator is good on Dragapult, but I don't like to use it on Dragapult because I don't want to use the same ability on two different Mons. So I guess I use it on my Malamar, I don't use it on my Dragapult. Wait a minute. Did I get this before the Charmander? It's February. That would have been... the weekend after Valentine's Day? No, wait, Charmander was from the year prior. Never mind. Hope is not lost. Oh my shit. I spent like a year working on this team. Grubbin was second, because that's also 2022. Okay. I don't think Grubbin gets an option for hidden abilities, because once it evolves into Vikavolt, it has to be Levitate. Like, maybe Grubbin and Charjabug get options, but it doesn't matter particularly, because eventually it's going to turn into a Vikavolt. Tolerable moves to start with. And yeah, this is October from 2022. That was just before Halloween. And Dreepy, yeah, Dreepy is using Cursed Body instead of Infiltrator. I know that is technically not the best ability I could put on a Dragapult. I am aware. But I have a shiny with near perfect individual values. So it ended up with Cursed Body. I'm going to use Cursed Body. I think this is also the only female on the team. Hang on. Yeah, that's right. I had a Dragapult once. I named her Mothership because she shoots little Dreepies out of her head. She looks like an aircraft carrier. Not good abilities that I can get on here via egg moves, unfortunately. But yeah, it's Adamant. I guess I went with just a physical, plain, raw attack instead of mixed. I hashed these all 9-6, which I guess that's a better day for Europeans than Americans, because for me, that's 9-6. For Europeans, that's 6-9. Much nicer. Dedication. I'm Weir's. Weird. Started in April 2022. May? August. 16 months for this team. It's worth it, though. Like, Europe reigns supreme. Don't get used to it. I could have June 9th. You have September 6th. Or the 6th of September for keeping things in order. Past me actually put 16 months into getting this team. I know I was doing more than just playing Pokemon Shield at the time, but god damn. I've already got too many games on the schedule. I don't want to add one more, but this is my favorite team. I have it fully ready to go. It's shiny. I know they have good IVs. Yeah, it's some kind of tempting. This is my favorite team, bar none. Of any Pokemon team I ever could use, this team is available in 2 games, by the way. I could use this full team in either Gen 8 or Gen 9. Charizard, Ludicolo, Lucario, Malamar, Vikavolt, Dragapult. Go ahead, then. Have you seen how many games I've got uploaded that I haven't finished yet? Games that I would be actively playing right now if I could. I want to go back to Metal Gear Rising, but it's not going to happen in time for my anniversary. I want to go back to Metal Gear Rising and finish all the VR challenges so I can 100% it for the first time ever. Like, I was able to do 100% VR challenges when I played originally on the PS3, probably, what was that, like 12, 13 years ago? But back then, my skill level wasn't so good for me to be able to do Revengeance. Like, I could finish it, but I couldn't S-rank it. Now I've S-ranked everything, I just have to grind the VR challenges again. I want to go back to Bayonetta, I want to go back to Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2. We have a Flame Fate Festival coming out for Monster Hunter Wilds in, like, a week. They're adding another Arc-Tempered. I still have to finish my Monster Hunter World save, never mind Wilds. Who cares? Have fun. The same part of me that likes setting up all these notes. The same part of me that likes having all these notes, these stacks, these sheets, these reams of documentation, wants to actually finish something. I don't like leaving games unfinished. That's enough out of you. I have the team set up. If temptation strikes me, I don't know if it would be good. I don't know if it would be good for stream. If I do that, it would have to be offline, and I'm not playing a lot of games when I'm not streaming. So, I will think about it. As it stands, however, we achieved our primary mission today. We were able to do both of the builds for... Excuse me, sorry. As it stands, we were able to accomplish our primary mission today. We did both builds for the 7-star Kommo-O Black Tera Crystal raid. Mightiest mark, and now we're probably going to be setting up for... If I had to guess what they're going to do for the next one, since they're doing all the pseudos, theoretically, we still have Hydreigon, Goodra, and Dragapult left. Am I forgetting anybody? 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 9, 7. So just 5, 6, 8 left. I guess they could do separately Goodra and Hisuian Goodra, but Hisuian Goodra doesn't strike me as a pseudo. I like it, though. I've used it. It was part of my core team for my first playthrough in Legends Arceus. I don't know if they would do a Hisuian variant for all the pseudos, though. I don't think they're going to save Goodra for last, so that means they're going to put either Hydreigon or Dragapult as the finale. I would want them to save Dragapult as the finale, and since it's a mixed attacker, that might be a safer bet, compared to Hydreigon, which is overwhelmingly a special attacker, and Goodra being overwhelmingly physical. Not exclusively, but overwhelmingly. I think they're going to save Dragapult for last, so that means it's either going to be Hydreigon or Goodra next. I'm not a betting man. I feel like they could probably go Hydreigon next because of, numerical order, but they abandoned numerical order 2 bosses ago. So, let's throw all caution to the wind there. Let's just say they're jumping around harder, and actually, instead of going reverse numerical from Gen 7 to 6, I'm going to say they're jumping to 5, and then 8, and then 6. Because maybe they would put Goodra last. What do I know? I'm not inside Game Freak. If I was, I'd probably be doing more damage to Pokemon than anything else. We'll see who the next 7-star raid is. Okay, I'll lock it in. My guess is going to be Hydreigon next. If I'm wrong, then everything is right with the world. If I'm right, however, lock your doors. It clearly means the apocalypse is on the way. But we'll find that out next time. Next time we have a raid, at least. It hasn't been announced yet, so. Next stream is going to be Monday at 1 p.m. EST. We are probably going to be doing more Monster Hunter Wilds. I still have yet to properly test it with the new RAM setup. Flame Fate Festival is not going to be starting at... Monday is going to be the 21st, I think. The earliest start for the Flame Fate Festival, I think, is the 23rd. I was able to finish the Mizusune challenge with an A rank. So I B-ranked the other 2 weapon types, but I believe it was Hammer I got my A rank finally. So we're going to go back to Monster Hunter before the Flame Fate Festival starts, and we're going to naturally play more of it once the seasonal event has begun. I have to. It's my addiction. I choose basically not to escape at all, even slightly. So we're going to be back Monday, 1 p.m. EST. And... wait, that's it? Well, we're going to do more than just one stream during the festival, but we have to find out what's available. There's going to be at least 2 new quests, event-wise, past the Arc-Tempered. I know that because they've added items that you can list at the smithy, but you can't craft them yet. So they're going to add something with pickaxes and who knows what else. You know, if the game's ready to time out, I probably should too. So before my Switch goes into hibernation mode, I'm going to go hibernate. Underwater. Maybe if I break into my mother's place, I can use her pool. I helped build the damn ladder for it. Maybe I should jump in for once. You meant that's it for today? Unfortunately, I think it's going to have to be it for today. I'm not doing 100%, so... If you meet that anymore... You know, no, I'm going to be nice to it. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry, I gotta call it early, but we will be back on Monday, and we're gonna have more fun then. Now that we've gone through our stress test yesterday, we do know drawing streams are back on the table, so we're going to be working on emotes together. I might do something offline to surprise you, but I think we can actually start crowdsourcing the brain work on actually thinking of the emotes. Never mind the execution, though. For that, my talent has to be absolutely... bottom tier to make them authentic. But bottomed out or not, I think we had a good time. Now, no sense in burning the midnight fuel, midnight oil. Ugh, I'm gassed. Fancy? Not that fancy. It's just me. I'm never that fancy. So don't expect a big drawn out goodbye. Just imagine a screen fading to black immediately after I say later.